Can a habit that emulates smoking really save your life? Let's find out. Hello and welcome once again to the Video Call-In Show. That show that invites you to be a guest live and in person to talk about anything you'd like to talk about. Top of the day, topic of the day, my past videos, it doesn't matter. Well, the subject of the day, I've actually had this in mind for a good long time. And I think I've mentioned it on several videos, but it bears mentioning again. Jackson Draws, welcome aboard TTF Train. Welcome to the show. I tried to wait for you, Jackson. I think you dropped off or something happened. You couldn't make it Friday, but we'll get you on, buddy. At any rate, the subject of the day is vaping, and this I know this is a touchy subject. I've known it for years, since I've been involved with it for years. And I'll tell you why, or I should recap why I have been involved in it for years. I, unfortunately, as a young man, perhaps, I don't know, 15, 16, did one of the most stupid things you can ever do at any point in your life, and that is I started smoking. It was the thing at the time. I know. Every kid or everyone goes through that during their grade school phase, where something is out there that is relatively horrible for you, and everyone's doing it, so you end up doing it. Well, smoking for many of us was exactly that, and I fell victim to it. Granted, I was a volunteer victim. I can't blame anyone but myself. I watched my parents smoke daily. In fact, far too much. And I can remember clearly saying that I would never smoke. Famous last words. Picked it up. And of course, once you pick it up, it puts its hooks into you, and you're very, very unlikely to get away from it anytime soon. Well, how does that relate to the subject at hand? Well, very, very simply, we are living in a time now that is arguably I'm going to call it a wonderful time for for those of us who have found ourselves in our past hooked on something we should have never ever started. Excuse me. Now, I'll talk a little bit about what I just did as well. But yeah, we were all those of us who have found ourselves in that very unfortunate position of having smoked for a good long time are now in the fortunate situation where there's an alternative that, granted, I'll say this right up front, it's not safe. Of course, what foreign chemical or whatnot that is not naturally occurring or whatnot, that sort of thing. What is not bad for you in excess? So no, hey Sonia, welcome aboard. Uh-oh. Now, Sonia, don't lay that at my feet. I did make you go out and have a cigarette. although I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, and the reason that I see us as fortunate is because we didn't have a device like this at all. In order to quit smoking back in the day, you chewed gum, you supplanted it with food, you tried to exercise. For those of us who despise stationary exercise, you found yourself trying to fill that void. Well, fortunately, like I said, e-cigarettes or vaping has come into vogue, and I'm going to be one of the cheerleaders for it. In that it has literally extended my life. And that's what I mean by saved my life. There's no question about it. Let me get on to a quick primer here about what I'm talking about. Now, some of you don't know the history of e-cigarettes. I'm going to give you a very, very brief history of the evolution. I'm not going to go into the details of what, how they were designed and developed, but I can certainly show you different iterations of the same. You see, I sold these online for the better part of 4 years, and it was about a break-even business, but I did so only because I felt compelled, in a way, to help others see the light as I did. I've been on them for probably the last 9 to 10 years, and I got to tell you, the changes have been remarkable, and you've heard this before, but it bears, or it's worth mentioning again. After just a while after getting off the cancer sticks, the standard what we call analog cigarettes, you things taste better, your sense of smell returns if it's not too far gone. You can sleep. You no longer, excuse me, you no longer have that heavy feeling in your chest. You don't have the wheezing. You don't have um, the inability to take a really deep breath. You know how when you yawn, it compels you to just suck in all kinds of oxygen. You go to that next level. It's like another compartment in your lung opens up. Well, when you're a heavy smoker, that hurts, man. I am here to tell you it friggin' hurts, and nobody, ain't nobody got time for that. It is awful. But and your stamina comes back if you do exercise, and you just feel better, you smell better. I mean, there's so many benefits to it. Not only that, but we'll get into the ingredients here in a minute, but you're not taking in all of those carcinogens that you were when you're burning an organic material and ingesting the smoke on a regular heavy basis. Filter or no filter. That filter introduces only a bunch of man-made chemicals. That's a subject for another show. Anyway, so how these evolved were when they finally became what I would consider mainstream, and I did some more air quotes there in case you missed it. They came out with a version that, of course, had to look like a standard cigarette. Now this breaks down, as you'll see. This is a really old example that I've had for years, but it breaks down, and you've got your battery portion here, and you've got your atomizer here, which is what actually heats up thanks to the battery power, and then back here you've got your e-liquid, right? But everyone at the time wanted wanted an alternative that mimicked what they were trying to give up. Not a good idea, in my estimation. I wouldn't. I tried those, of course. Now this is actually from not a collection, but when I was selling, I used to get samples sent to me all the time. They even went so far as to package this thing in something that looked like a cigarette pack. Unbelievable. But some people look at this cool little thing. You want to charge it? Bam. I never did use these. These sort of gimmicky e-cigs tend to taste horrible. They tend to be much more expensive than the alternatives. So I just I got away from them entirely. Just I used them very shortly while I was trying to quit the cancer sticks. So on the flip side of that, what happened soon thereafter is they grew a little bit, but they also matured in so many ways. Like here is the new battery, and for comparison, we'll throw the other one back in there. But this one here is a remarkable difference. And this is what's called a clearamizer or cartomizer, where the e-liquid is filled right in the tip there. I should show you that I'm screwing that back on. These wicks inside, let's see if I can get you a little bit of a close-up there. Come on, focus, baby, focus. There you go. If you look inside there, you can see some cotton they'll most likely be cotton wicks, right? Now that absorbs the e-liquid. We'll show some of that right there. That absorbs the e-liquid and brings it into the heating element, which is the atomizer. This is a battery, and you can see by comparison how much it has grown. And the reason it had grown was twofold. One, these atomizers take more power, and plus people wanted it to last longer. These things typically, these cigarette-looking ones, they typically don't last for shit. They're just horrible pieces of garbage. But these would last, a good half day, and if you were a light user, you could get a full day out of these. And plus you could charge them without. I think this is a yeah. See this one, you could even charge using a mini USB, or there are adapters that I can show you. Yeah, there are adapters, and this is such a hackneyed example, but you get what I'm saying. Sonia, they are not more addicting than real cigarettes, and they're not worse for you. Let me get into there. Okay, so yeah, this would be a charger for. Actually, you can do both type of batteries in that charger because they've got what are called 510 threads, so on and so forth. Okay, so after all of this, and actually during the evolution of the e-cig, these were being developed, and this is a box mod. A lot of people are doing these, at home, and all this means this one happens to carry or use two of the 18650 batteries, flat tops, and at the cartomizer or atomizer is now tank, which fills either into the top or an unscrew device, but it fills into this glass area here. There's an atomizer inside there, sometimes rebuildable, sometimes they are just they are cartridges, and they you use them and you toss them. So now that is a very brief evolution of the electronic cigarette. Sony asks, aren't those more addicting than real cigarettes, and are they worse for you? No, they are not. And it's a very, very simple, very simply, when you do the research and you find out how many chemicals are created, carcinogens, just horrible things that are created when you burn and inhale the smoke of an organic material, as opposed to vaporizing liquids and ingesting that. There's almost zero comparison. Now, I know that people are trying to scare everyone about vaping and the materials involved, and my theory is that the tobacco companies still have a giant presence as lobbyists, and they also have a vested interest in a couple of things. One is the manufacture and sale of tobacco products, and two, they are also the primary developers and marketers of nicotine cessation devices. We're talking about the gum, the patch, all of that stuff. So they have a vested interest because they haven't broken into the cigarette market. Wait, that's going to happen. Well, actually, they have. I think Blue was bought by one of the big ones, but I'm not going to, don't quote me on that. At any rate, they have bought into, or they have such a vested interest in reducing or frightening the general public about e-cigarettes, so that their products will continue to sell as anyone would ever, and it's a horrible thing. Because I'm here to tell you right now, I have tried everything back in the day to quit. Cold turkey. I did, patch. I did gum. I did Shantix. And Shantix came the closest to working. I mean, it does what it says. It will actually kill your urge, or actually what it does is it kills the enjoyment you get from smoking. I think it blocks the nicotine receptors in the brain, which is cool. That's fine. I mean, even if you got addicted to these to such a degree where you were overdoing it, I'm sure that Chantix could help you in that capacity. But here, what I wanted to talk about as well is there are three basic components to the e-liquid or the juice, right? You've got propylene glycol, and don't let that name scare you. It is used in the process. Well, actually, it's used in a great deal of. Let's see. It's nearly odorless, but possesses a faintly sweet taste. Chemically is diol. Yeah. Folks have thrown around a great deal. It's not a rumor because it's true that that antifreeze is made of predominantly of propylene glycol. They're correct. Well, cig juice is a little bit different in that the concentration is lower, and you're not literally ingesting it all. In fact, if you watch me hit, most of what you see leave is a byproduct of, or an amalgamation of all three of them. So you've got propylene glycol, you've got vegetable glycerin, and if you read up on vegetable glycerin, it's used in the manufacture of so many foods you wouldn't even you couldn't even count them all. Oh, and propylene glycol is actually is used in the manufacture and of pop, of just about every soda pop. As I understand it, I have some family that used to work, and I won't name the company, but they used to work in a plant that mixed all of the formulas for these pops, and they had barrels of this propylene glycol sitting around. If somebody tells you that they've never taken in propylene glycol and they still drink soda pop, in the Midwest we call it pop, not soda. But they're lying to you because they don't know. Guaranteed. So anyway, so you've got propylene glycol, you've got vegetable glycerin, which is safe as water. And funny enough, the last main ingredient would be water. Now, you would wonder, or you're probably wondering at this point, why I didn't mention nicotine. Well, it's because I haven't got there yet. Yes, there's nicotine in e-cig juice, if you so choose. That's not to say that some unscrupulous dealers haven't let nicotine slip into their zero nicotine juice. That does happen, and you've got to be careful of who you buy this stuff from. Get to know them, look for popularity, check reviews, all that kind of thing. Check. Even some are required. I think some countries require an ingredients test. The only other ingredients in e-cig juice would be flavoring, and it's the same, almost exact same flavoring that you would find in just about all your foods. Flavoring that you can buy individually, flavoring that you can't, and it just so happens to find its way into your foods. Because we're living in an age of so much processed crap. It's not even funny. You think taking this stuff is bad? Try 2 or 3 Hostess products every friggin' day. You're not gonna enjoy that for very long. Jackson Draws asks if he goes on the show, can he use earbuds? Folks, if you come on the show, which is real easy, you see that link right there. There's also one in the description box. I actually remembered to do that this time. But if you go to that link right there, you'll be able to download Zoom. When you download Zoom, you can that's also the meeting number, so it'll take you straight into this meeting, and I'll see you come up on my board. Well, I actually suggest that you use earbuds, and here's why. If you don't use earbuds, then I'm going to be speaking out of your speakers, whether it's a desktop or laptop or a speaker. I'm sorry, phone. And your mic is going to hear that and shut off, and then we're going to have this weird thing going back and forth where I say something, you have to wait for it. You start saying something, your mic's not ready to pick up your voice yet, and it gets really weird. So yes, earbuds or headphones are I can't say mandatory because you guys can do anything you want, if you, but definitely suggested. Definitely suggested. And also of note, when you do come on, turn down the live stream video and listen only to the Zoom. Let's talk straight through Zoom. That way we can have a conversation without nearly the delay. Because a lot of times what you're seeing at the end of YouTube is about 10 to 15 seconds delayed from what I'm, doing. In fact, as I just said that, you're seeing me say something, or you won't see that yet. You're probably seeing it about now. Okay. So, yeah, knowing all that about e-cigs, it's very, very easy to see, especially when I'm watching my father, who smoked for decades, who's now on oxygen and can't he can't be without it without just completely. He's got full blown COPD. He can't be without it without just being completely out of breath, and it puts a fear of death in your heart, and you're just like, I got to get back to my oxygen. My mother, rest her soul, that is absolutely fine, Jackson Draws. If you want to come on and talk for 20 minutes, that's cool. See, folks, I don't have any time limit on this. As we get more people involved and that want to jump on the show, I may have to limit it. For now, it's cool. We can talk as long as you want to. I really want to broach a subject we talked about before, and I'll break that out. I know I've been a little lax in doing that as well, but I'll break those out into guest cuts so that people don't have to watch me talk about e-cigs while during your time on the show. So I was watching my mother have the same problem. I can remember being down at her place about 6, 7 years ago, and her just walking across the lawn. I think I've said this before. To talk to a neighbor, we stayed at the house, and then she walked back, and it couldn't have been 50 feet. And by the time she got back to her porch, she was completely out of breath. Well, that was entirely due to cigarettes. She didn't die due to cigarettes. It wasn't like lung cancer or anything, but her husband passed away maybe 6 months prior to her passing. And of course, you can argue that any way you'd like to, broken heart, whatever it might be. But she did have that problem, and I got her. It was shortly after I saw that happening that I sent her one of my e-cig kits from my store, and she stayed on that e-cig regimen, if you will. I mean, it's supplanting a habit. I know, I'm not stupid. It's an addiction, and we can all say that we have one addiction or another. For some people, it's alcohol. Some people, it's food. Some people, it's sex. Some people, it's still smoking. So, beat up on me as you will about nursing an addiction. It is part of the human condition. I mean, we are habitual creatures. There's no question about that. My downfall is going to be this. I mean, the one thing I still enjoy and am thankful that these came out is the not so much the oral fixation, but the hit. I like feeling it in the back of my throat. And I know that sounds weird to a lot of you who've never tried it, and don't if you haven't. There's no reason for you to. I mean, you never miss something you never have. So if you decide not to go down this road, don't go down this road. There's no reason to. If you're a smoker and you can't quit via other means, by all means, do this. Get away from the cancer sticks. If you enjoy it that much, or if you're that heavily addicted to it, by all means, grab one of these. Go to a vape shop. And in most vape shops, you can sample several different of their e-juices. Find an e-juice that you absolutely love, does everything you need it to do, and everything that you think the cancer sticks are doing. Most people try tobaccos right off the bat. That's cool. What I found was coffees with maybe a tobacco flavoring undertone. It wasn't straight tobacco, but an undertone. Really knocked me out, and that was it for me. As soon as I found that I could, you know, get every bit of enjoyment out of it that's provided, I did so. And here's a little rule of thumb: if you are thinking about smoking or vaping, title of the show. If you are thinking about vaping and you're looking for a flavor that you enjoy, keep this in mind. I was a little over a pack a day a smoker for well over 3 decades, almost four, and and I found that a level of 24 nicotine milligrams of nicotine was right there, kept me satisfied. I am now down to probably 6 or 7. And even that is a remarkable reduction in the grand scheme of things. It's almost what is it, 300% reduction, maybe more, 400, yeah, 400 if it's down to 6. I'm not good at math, so don't quote me on that. But it's still, not only have I brought my nicotine down, and I don't have tomatoes, I don't have eggplants, I don't have potatoes. Well, I do have potatoes. And that adds to my nicotine intake. Make no mistake of it. You may think you've never touched nicotine, but you do. Every time you have a vegetable in the same family as the tobacco plant, they have nicotine as well. So, hey, Justin Bennett, how are you, man? Welcome back to the show. You didn't miss much about vaping. I was kind of rolling around about how it's helped me, but anyway, getting back to my mother, she stayed with it for more than more than that 7 years. She did start smoking again once her husband of 30 some odd years passed. I think it was out of sadness and frustration and loneliness, but because she was down in Florida pretty much alone, there was nothing I could do about it. But I think it extended her life at least that long, and that at least I can sleep well knowing that. And I know for a fact I would be, if I'd smoked the last decade, I know I would be in a much more horrible place. Now I still have, as you noticed, and I told you I was going to get back to this, I still have a cough, and it's more, it comes up here more than anything else because during my day, beast mode, during my shit crick survivor, during my day, what was I saying? Oh, during my normal day, I don't talk this much at all. In fact, I rarely talk to anybody. I do some of my best work alone. So when I'm editing or when I'm search engine optimizing or marketing, I I get focused right in the laptop and bam, I'm just there and I don't talk to anybody. But yeah. So now this brings it out because when I'm talking on my shows, it really kicks up the dust, for lack of a better term. Your lungs never do go back to 100%. There's really no way they can, and that's a matter of, well, I mean they can, but depending on how early and how long you smoke. But after 30 years, two things are wrong here. One, you're getting older and your body doesn't recover as quickly, and two, you've already done a whole lot of damage, so you're lucky to get any of your capacity back or even maintain it. I like to think that I've not only maintained it, but I've gotten some back. Jackson Draws, yes, I am married. I'm not wearing a wedding ring right now. I tend to take off my jewelry quite often. It gets in the way. I used to wear a couple rings on both hands. Not well, I wouldn't say like 4 total, but maybe 2 at a time. One being my wedding ring, and it gets uncomfortable, so I forget to put them on. And when you're typing or drumming, I can't stand to drum with my wedding ring on. It just kills me. But yes, I've been married. This June will be our 35th wedding anniversary. I might even bring her on the show, although I think we're going to be in Florida. I I might even bring her on the show for a an anniversary special. How would that be? Who's doing that? I might even wear my beast mode tactical patch, Justin. So yeah, say what you will. I can't. I don't have any compunctions about it. I know that anything in excess is not good for you. I know that I probably shouldn't be taking in the nicotine that I do. And for those of you who've never done it, don't do it. But I can't complain. I know that I'm heavier now. We're talking about square footage and because I can taste food and I enjoy it so much more now. Not because I'm trying to fill a void in my life, trying to quit cancer sticks cold turkey. I know that most of the ingredients that are contained in these, I'm taking in other areas of my consumption. I know that I'm not burning leaves and inhaling that the byproducts of that burn. That there's no tar in this thing. That's arguably the thing that will just cake your lungs full. We've all had health in high school. They show you the pictures of healthy lungs and then a smoker's lungs. Well, that's mainly due to tar. I mean, think about the last time you burnt something and what a mess the aftermath was. Well, for a lot of people, they're still taking that. And Sonia, I don't mean to make you feel bad about smoking, but I think if you're a smoker, honestly, go visit a vape shop, and even if you have, even if you feel like you've got to emulate a cigarette, these contraptions here, or the jewels or whatever, that they you can still cigarette them up, but like I said, you've got to find a flavor that you enjoy and can live without firing up. So I'm an advocate. I have to say that I'm an advocate, even though I know that it's not the best thing for me. Of course, neither is drinking, right? I drink more than what the Surgeon General would tell me to for my health. I drink recreationally. I drink much more coffee than I should. I take in a crap ton of caffeine. Now, granted, I've cut my coffee intake down by, what is that, half calf in there? Yeah, by half. We've been on half calf for the better part of I don't know, 5 to 10 years, somewhere in there. But I'll still kill an entire pot of half calf. And then if I'm in a place where I don't have half calf, it's all systems go on 100% well, not 100% caffeine, industrial strength coffee. How's that? And we're not talking about that Starbucks crap. I think I've already mentioned that in another show. Not a big fan. Not a big fan of the designer coffees. I appreciate my wallet far too much than to give it away to coffee that I can make better myself. And it's all a matter of taste. I'll give you that. But yeah, I would much rather drink just straight up Joe at a normal temperature, one that I don't have to wait on. Damn, Jackson, you're a little young for coffee, my friend. I would think, although I was drinking coffee at your age, I'll guarantee you that. I started drinking coffee in the middle of high school. Of course, it was laced with sugar and cream, but that didn't last long. I got out of high school and I said, that's too much of a pain in the ass, man. Let's go straight up black. Any questions about that? Do you guys? Here's the question of the day, and I need to create a stinger for this. Question of the day: do you know anyone who is vaping and is no longer smoking? A former smoker. Do you know a former smoker who is now vaping and happy with it? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear. My mother's not the only one, by the way, that I turned on to these. I've got several friends who were smokers, and I thought, why not help them out? And I gave them to them. I said, here's a starter kit. Try it. Check out this variety of flavors. If none of these do it for you, go out and find some. There's no shortage of butter your coffee. Oh, Champ Works. What's that all about? I'm not gonna butter my coffee. I've heard about that. But no, coffee is remarkably delicious as it is, and because I've tried, I've done all kinds of things to coffee. Never butter, by the way, but I've done all kinds of things to coffee over the years, and I just keep coming back to the black, straight up industrial strength. Well, half calf at home, but yeah. Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. I'm going to have a whole show on my diet if I haven't already. I'll have to search the memory banks. I don't think I did, but yeah, French vanilla creamer. That's actually what my wife uses. She's been using that. Well, I think it shrunk me. When I went in the military, I was 5'10". About what was it, 15 years ago? My doctor told me I was 5'9". What? How does that happen? It's not like I'm 80 years old and all hunched over. I know my posture sucks, but I know it's not that bad. Oh God. Yeah, 13. Oh man, do I remember 13. I can't even go into those stories and keep yeah, I just some things I got to keep to myself. In fact, I keep telling my son, I said, and I think I've mentioned this before, but he's getting close to this age. I said, yeah, I'll tell you just about everything you need to know when you turn 30. And he's 29, so I'm in trouble soon. He gets to hear about all my bad stories, but and I'm going to tell you the reason I did that. I think he knows by now, but I'm going to tell you exactly the reason I did that. If you want to be, this actually would be a great subject for a show. See, I'm going to ramble here for just a second. I was just on a live stream earlier with somebody, and I said, one of my biggest problems is trying to find my topic of the day. And here I am mentioning and talking about all kinds of things over and over and over that would make great topics for shows. I really have to start writing these things down when I'm on the air. But I will soon. You tend not to remember things after you think of them. The older you get, it becomes even more difficult. So anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? See, perfect example. Perfect example. Yeah, so the diet thing, I'm probably going to try that keto diet if that's how it's pronounced, because normally mine is a modified Atkins. It's actually an Atkins and a South Beach combo. I read both books and figured out the best parts of both, so I didn't have to kill myself getting in or kill myself maintaining, and it worked too. Did it twice. I've done it 3 times. One time I failed because I wasn't as diligent as I should have been. This is probably the second time I tried. No, yeah, the second time. First time I tried it, I lost damn near 30 pounds in 30 days. That was awesome. And the last time, the last time I did it, just a second, Jackson. The last time I did it, I did just fine. It was only about 20 pounds in 30 days, but that is the roller coaster of life. I see a giant light. Can you hear me? Jackson, can you hear me? I see you doing stuff. I'll just keep yammering until you get things set up. It looks like your mic's hooked up, your video's hooked up. Okay. Alrighty. Good, 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 good. I'm just doing some things here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I'm going to do that soon. I meant to do it. I meant to do it at the first of the year, like any other New Year's resolution. But I think this time I'm going to. I didn't do it this time because I literally have to. I literally have to wait till my kitchen's done. I didn't want to have to. We're cooking out of a toaster oven and on a not a hot plate, but a griddle for the most part, and then a lot of it's eating out. So, in fact, we just had Chinese tonight, so I'm trying to live it up before I dive back in to that hideous trough that is a self-imposed diet. We'll see how it goes. Can you hear me, Jackson? I saw you knocked your video off. That's cool because I don't I know you don't. I don't think you're gonna come on via video, but I'm not seeing your microphone yet. If you can hear me, um, make sure your microphone is set up. All you got to do is go down to the lower left corner of the Zoom interface, and you see that little mic that says mute. Click that up arrow, and make sure that when it says select a microphone, make sure that you've got an active microphone selected. So, yeah, let's just talk about the show for a little bit. It's still really exciting doing this show. I every time I talk to folks outside of you, my great friends who come to watch me babble on, they all say it's a great idea, and that's very encouraging, very encouraging. I love hearing that, and of course I'm doing as much as I can on a hobby level to get the word out, but it is working. And plus, I'm having such a hard time getting all of my guest cut videos completed. Jackson, I saw you. In fact, I've got to unlock the meeting now that you've gone. Let me unlock the meeting. Okay. So yeah, you can try again. You can try again. Um, so where was I? Oh, and as you can see, I'm pushing 60 subscribers now, which is awesome. I have a goal of 10,000 by the end of the year. Can we do it? I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna need your help. You have to make sure you share our videos to your tribe or links to the channel, your choice. If you want to, if you'd like to place, especially if you come on the show and I do a guest cut of you, then by all means throw it in a playlist on your channel. That's good exposure for both of us. And yeah, talk about it. Talk about it on your Facebook feeds, your Twitter feeds. Um, Reddit hasn't been kind to me. I tried to get involved in that community, and it just went nowhere. But yeah, share it out. He's back. He's back. All right, I'm gonna unmute you, and I'm gonna lock the meeting. Let's see. Can I mute your? Yeah, I'm gonna stop your video. All right, I stopped your video for you. But I'm still not hearing you. I don't see your microphone doing any. Um, I don't see the levels bouncing at all.
Wait, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. You're awfully low though.
Oh,
Are you using
yeah,
your
I don't
phone,
know.
Jackson?
Yeah,
Huh? Oh, you are? Okay.
yes, I am.
Just make sure it's close to you. I can bring you up some more.
Is this better?
That's much better. Much better. Now, did you want to come on video or did you just want to stay on audio?
Just audio. Thank you.
Okay, okay. I noticed, sure. I noticed in your videos most of the time it was an over shoulder shot, and I thought, okay, well, you're only 13. That's cool. We'll leave you that way. All right. So we have with us today Jackson Draws. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just fine. I'm just fine. I got to say that I appreciate you hanging out with me so many nights as I've seen you do. That's awesome. I also want to say
Yeah,
that I
pleasure.
enjoy your videos, man. I enjoy your drawings that I've seen.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So what part of the country are you from? What like state?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. My mother was actually from Pennsylvania originally. So so I'm very familiar with it. She was such a huge fan of Pennsylvania Dutch items. So I wanted to talk to you today. Let me see if I lock that meeting again. Yeah, it is. I wanted to talk to you today about drawing from the right side of the brain. And I had these all called up Friday night, so I may have to call them up again. Have you ever heard of that or read the book?
I have not.
Let me see if I can call that up here real fast. Because it helped me. It really did. All right. Drawing from there we go.
I'm gonna switch to headphones for a quick second.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Turn you down a little bit in case we get some popping.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can. Give me just a second here. I can. Go ahead and talk again.
Hello.
Oh, much better. All right. Jackson Draws is back. All right. So what I was wanting to talk to you about, like I said, is this book that I got probably when I was about your age, and it's called Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain. Can you see that? I think if I can zoom in on that just a bit. There it is on Amazon for about $14. It changed the way I looked at drawing entirely, and I want to say that it also covered negative space drawing. And negative space drawing is, let's say you have trouble drawing eyes. Well, a lot of people will say instead of drawing the eye like you think it looks, draw those elements around the eye as they relate to one another. Don't even think of it as an eye. You literally will draw just concentrate on the eyelid and draw it in the same shape that is. Then you draw the wrinkles behind that, and then maybe the lower eyelid, and you would draw around that, and then maybe the duct and some, I don't know, crow's feet or whatever, and throw some lashes on. Then you look at the iris, and instead of drawing the iris, draw the white of the eye first, and inside the the frame you just made, and then you draw the iris, not the pupil. And then when you stop and you look at it, and oh my God, that's a wonderful eye. Was that too much?
No, I got it. I'm taking notes.
Well, oh, are you really? Yeah. Be careful with that. I'm liable to say stuff that's not right. No, but it really ramped up my understanding of one, why I couldn't figure out how to do faces that well, or even some animals. And I know you're a big animal drawer, so
Yeah, draw mostly dinosaurs.
yeah. Well, you could apply the same thing to that too. Let's say you wanted to draw a dinosaur and maybe a prehistoric background. you would literally draw the background behind the dinosaur and ignore the dinosaur at all. And then when you look back at it, it's like, wow, that's the exact outline of the dinosaur that's standing right in front of that background. It's really remarkable. I know I'm pushing this really heavily, but it's really cool, dude. So tell us, how did you get started drawing?
Um, I'm not sure
I
actually,
know it's tough.
because I remember I
That's
started
a tough
drawing
question.
dinosaurs
Uh
because
huh.
of Beanie Draws.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Beanie draws? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen him on a couple of live streams. Absolutely. In fact, I think I think I'm subscribed to his channel because I wanted to go back and look at some of his stuff. So do you take art
Ye-
classes in school?
Um, I mean, there's an art class like at school. I don't have it
Mm-hmm.
this year. I had it last year, and I'm gonna have it next year.
Oh, okay.
But I want to take art
Well,
lessons.
oh yeah, yeah. Where does 13 put you nowadays? What grade? What grade's 13?
8th grade.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so you don't like have well, may not have electives. But yeah, yeah, very
Yeah,
cool.
ninth
Yeah,
grade we have it.
right, right. Do you have a is your high school a 4 year, or do they have they broken out ninth grade into its own?
It's all like one building.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's a lot different than my time. I mean, 98% of high schools were all ninth through 12th. But yeah, and I really loved art class. My problem was I had too many outside interests. I was racing motocross. You know, got involved with the women's. Hindsight's 2020 though. You probably saw the show with TTF Train where I was trying to tell him that same thing. But so is your dad. So I'm not gonna go down that road.
Yeah, I
Oh,
probably
I
wouldn't have
know.
been on the show tonight, but um,
Uh huh.
cool. School got canceled tomorrow because there's snow coming, or it's gonna be really
Oh,
cold.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be cold here in Indy. I didn't realize you guys had snow going in. Um, well, that's cool. So you got a kind of a free night, right?
Yeah, I was busy on Friday when I said I was gonna go on then, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I saw you pop in and out.
So
I
I
saw
thought
you pop
tonight
in
was a
and out
good
a
night.
couple times. Well, well, I'm happy. I'm happy we finally got together on this, and uh,
Yeah,
and really, I really want to hear what after you get this book, and that's the one thing that kind of kept me out of some trouble was I really enjoyed reading. So do me a favor and get this book because if you really want to draw more, get into it and hone your skills between art classes. This is a really good way to do it. Taking the advice of people who have gone before you. So
yeah,
let's
I'll look
uh
into it.
let's do. Absolutely. Let's see.
What
I
is it
want
called
to
again?
go. It's called Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain, and I'll bring that back up on screen. You can always go back to this and see it. There's several places to get it. Heck, you can even get it on eBay for as low as $3.99. So, well, if that's a buy it now price. But yeah, drawing on the right side of the brain. What it does is, if memory serves, and remember, I probably read this when I was your age, but it helped me understand how to use my analytical side of the brain as well as my creative side of the brain and have them work together because often they kind of work at odds, and that's why people have blocks when it comes to drawing specific things. They try to think about it too analytically or too creatively, and if you can get tap both sides of your brain and get them all working as a well honed machine, then your drawing really improves. I could drag up a drawing that I did when I was about your age, where it was right after I'd written that book, and it was like the best portrait I'd ever done. Well, excuse me, and I don't even consider myself a portrait artist. I'm more of a landscape artist. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to go to your channel. We got to take a look at your channel. I want to get people interested in those people like you and beanie draws. What are your plans for your channel? Any
Um,
specific?
I don't know. Um,
Well,
I
answer
don't
me this.
really.
Why? Hang on. Answer me this. Why do you create videos today?
Um, probably just
I know
like to
it's a
show
tough question,
people
isn't it?
and
Yeah. Yeah.
get it out there, kind of. And
Sure.
because Beanie Draws is where I started it, and probably where the idea of
Uh-huh.
posting drawing videos came from.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
So
certainly
yeah,
as good as a reason as any, right? Look at you,
yep.
137 subscribers.
Honestly, I didn't think I was gonna get 100 when I started it.
You didn't think so?
Remember? Well, I hope so, but I didn't expect it to happen that fast. It was gonna be in happen like
Well,
in a few
congrats on that.
months.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
How long did it take
Um,
you?
I started the channel in like September, and then I took a month off,
Uh-huh.
and then I started it again.
That's cool, dude. I'm going over it again. Sorry, I'm transfixed. Let's bring it up. Let's kill this. There we go. There it is. Jackson draws. Yeah, I love that. And you're even working on your thumbnails, which is nice. You're getting some text on there, which should draw in even more people. Let me ask you this. Did you do any promotion like to family and friends on your Facebook page, that sort of thing? Have you done that yet?
No, the only social media that I have is Twitter, and I have like 8 followers.
Uh
I'll
huh.
probably promote that on my channel so I get more followers on
Mm-hmm.
that.
Hmm. So where do you figure most of your subscribers came from? You hang out on a lot of live streams or something?
I I actually have no idea. I do go on lots of live streams. I don't know if that's
Do
it.
you? Well, there's a big market for artists. I've noticed since I got into this a little deeper, and I think that's working, in your favor. Fellow artists love to see other artists work, and people that can't, they really enjoy watching people who have a bit of talent do what they can't do. So I think you're in a pretty good niche, my friend. Oh, I haven't looked at
Yeah.
any of your time lapses. Dang it.
I also only have an iPhone 5 to
Uh huh.
record, edit, and then upload videos.
Hmm.
I gotta make thumbnails on that. I didn't really have any storage
Yeah.
left, so I'm trying to. I
Well,
need
it
a
looks
laptop or something.
looks like you're doing a bang up job, my friend. I'm very happy for you. Oh, look at that
Thank
Sprite
you.
cranberry. There's a good example of what I was talking about.
Yeah, that video
I
had
don't know if
like
I yeah 583 views.
yeah,
Yeah, it's right there in the center. And that's a great one for negative space because when you're doing a logo or something and it's hard to do those letters, if you draw around the letters, if you draw the spaces around the letters, you come back and you'll find that those letters are outlined very nicely.
yeah. I also
So,
did get a new drawing desk for Christmas and a bunch of new drawing supplies, so
oh, you did?
that's nice. Yeah,
But yeah, very
I
cool.
didn't have
Is
a
it different than
my
is it different than the one I saw on your live stream?
no, I think because I didn't have a desk at all, and I
Oh,
really
okay.
wanted one for a long time. Because I used to
Mm-hmm.
draw laying on my stomach on the floor for like 2 hours because I didn't have a desk to draw on. But I finally got one
That's
for
hard on the
Christmas.
back. Yeah, that's
It's
hard on
really
the back,
nice.
isn't it? Yeah, man. At
And I
13
can do
years
homework
old,
on it and
that's
stuff.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Lots of uses for that. Well, you're doing a bang up job for 13, man. Some of these drawings are really nice. Megalodon, pterodon. I don't even know how to say that one. Gallimimus, Gallimimus,
Gallimimus, I think.
Gallimimus. I used
Yep.
to be a big dinosaur guy when I was a kid. Thought for sure I was going to be an archaeologist. So, what else you want to talk about, man? You got anything else on your mind? How are
Um,
things?
not
How are
really.
things going in school?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, keep at it, my friend. Keep at it. Oh, we're at an hour. Um, yeah, keep at it. I think. Imagine what'll happen when you do open this up to your family and friends. I haven't done mine yet. I'm waiting for a larger audience, but my niche is one of those
Yeah, like
weird
I
ones
told
where.
some friends.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
I
probably
just didn't
helping
really
you.
do it on social media.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're probably helping by. They're probably making mention of it as well, which is awesome. I haven't done it because, you know. Oh, what I was saying was that my genre is a little bit off the beaten path. It's hard to find people who are looking for shows like mine. But you've got a good niche going there, man. You got a really good niche,
Y-
and
Yeah.
you keep working on the text um, on those thumbnails, and you'll be an ones out in no time. Are you going to do any animations? I know you've got time lapses here.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I eventually get a better phone or computer to do it on, but
Mm-hmm.
not right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems to be huge. Or is it just me?
No, I think it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that dig that. There's like three of them that I follow, and it's because I'm interested in
You gotta be
the
funny as well.
format. You got to be funny as well. Yeah, yeah. Tell me about it. All right, dude. Well, we'll have to have you back on the show, um, and actually we could highlight one of your. I'm going to go look at your time lapses when we get done here, and maybe we can feature one of those videos. How's that sound? Still
Yeah.
with me? Well, I'm glad we finally got you on, and I hope you remain
Yeah, I'm glad I
a
came on
viewer.
too.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, how long have we been trying this? Like 2 or 3 weeks?
Probably, yeah.
It happens. In fact, most of the people that I talk to outside of the chat room, it takes a few weeks to get to get things together. It seems, and that's cool. Who am I if I'm not patient? All right, buddy. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to probably shut her down for tonight and work on a theme for tomorrow night. But we'll have you back on. All right.
All right. See ya. Have a nice night.
Hey, see you. Keep up the good work, will you? And thanks so much for coming on.
Okay.
Jackson Draws, everyone. Take care, bud.
See ya.
Bye bye. All right. Yeah, he's doing some great things. I so appreciate when you look back and you wonder if there were things that you probably could have done with your life and didn't for whatever reason. Things just weren't the stars weren't aligned. There's just no no way to get into that. Or thanks again, Jackson. There's just no way to find time for them. Something else becomes a priority. Well, you've just got to. You look back and you think, oh, if I'd only made more time for doing those things that I really love. And if you don't leave with anything out of tonight's show, leave with this. Don't let those things pass you by. Try not to be distracted. Follow your passion. Um, Always have a backup plan, but follow your passion and do what makes you happy. Because you only get so many trips around the sun, and you've got to make the most of them. Words of wisdom? Okay, we'll call them words of wisdom. I don't know, but listen, folks. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Make sure that you smash that subscribe button if this is content that sparks your interest. You want to see more guests come on. You want to see more variety. More. You want to see me yammering a bit more. Then by all means, come on back. And make sure you ring that notification bell. And whatever you do, share the content so that we can build this audience. And I'll leave you with this. Remember, always treat others as you would want to be treated. You'll make the world a better place. All right. Good night, folks, and we will see you live.